Welcome in to another weekly Spirit Boost. I'm Tammy Mastroberti, best-selling author of the books The Universe is Talking to You and The Higher Help Method. And I help people and I teach people how to tap into what I call the divine higher helpline of the universe to create a life they love waking up to every day. And I usually, when I do these weekly spirit boosts, I try to come up with the topic literally on the fly. I don't overly plan them. I kind of trust that I'm going to be guided to the right topic. And usually it's something based on something's going on in my personal life, with friends, with family, a topic that I keep hearing about, things that keep coming up. And as part of my Higher Helpline membership community, this week we did hot seats, and hot seats are basically like mini readings with me where I kind of find their blocks in one area intuitively, and then I give them what the blocks are, how to clear them when we do a mini oracle card reading. And two people actually in the same hot seat group brought up issues around I have to have a difficult conversation with someone, or I have to talk to someone about something and I have fear around it. I'm worried about it. I'm stressed out about it because I just know it's not going to go well. I just know that the information that I'm going to share is not going to be received well. And we got into it, right? We started talking about it, and I started talking about, you have to pre-plan things, you have to call in higher helpers. And then I actually grabbed the higher help method and looked at, okay, here's exactly who I want you to call in before this. And then I realized I actually I knew that I had something around communication, but there's an actual prayer in the higher help method book about improving communication that can be used ongoing, but it can certainly be used and sort of tweaked for I'm about to have this conversation with someone. So I wanted to come on here and, maybe there's someone that you just find it difficult to communicate with in general in your life, right? Maybe there is a conversation that you two need to have and are worried about having it or don't know how to go about having it. So I wanted to just come on here and share a little bit about what I was sharing in the membership group, because I think we all have people in our lives that we bump heads with, or we have people in our lives where we have to break news to them about something. Maybe you're moving, maybe you're ending a relationship, maybe you have to say no to something that they're not going to like you saying no to, right? There's so many different things that could come up. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, because whether you're facing this right now in this second, or this is something that there's someone in your life that is already you're thinking of listening to me, this can be helpful. So that I teach, and if you're new, hi. But if not, that I teach. We do nothing by ourselves, and we should be doing nothing by ourselves. Everything is to be done in partnership with the universe, because we have all of this help available to us and we're not always accessing it or utilizing it. And so that includes this. That includes, oh my gosh, I have a difficult conversation I have to have, or oh my gosh, how am I going to break this person? Or every time I talk to this person, there's a combative energy, or they're looking to fight, or whatever it might be. Or I'm just having ongoing communication problems with my spouse, my mother, my father, my sister, my friend, my coworker, whomever, my neighbor, right? We can call in higher help for it, especially before the conversation. So if I have to have this conversation with so-and-so, and I know it's not going to go well, or I'm not looking forward to it. They're not going to like what I have to say, or I don't know how to say this without it becoming an argument, without it becoming a fight, without it becoming triggering. Okay. Here are some tips and some some higher helpers that you can call in. And I'm also going to tell you about a prayer in the Higher Help Method book, which if you do not have it yet, it should be linked below on Facebook and Instagram. And then, I'm sorry, on Facebook and YouTube, and then also on my Instagram bio. So, number one, if it is a romantic partner relationship, look up Imago communication. IMAGO, Imago. This was created, I believe, but I know that it is taught by Harville Hendrix and Helen LaKelly Hunt, which they've written a number of books. I think one of their most known is Getting the Love You Want. They literally have a way of communicating so that it takes out the triggers and it forces you to listen, and it forces the other person to listen to you. So that's first and foremost. Look up Imago, especially for these romantic. You can use it for any communication, but if you are struggling in a romantic relationship, look up Imago. IMAGO. Second of all, you can call in higher help before the conversation. And not just call in higher help for you, but you're going to call in higher help for the other person, right? Because you want them to be open to you as well. So you also want the higher helpers to work with them as well as you for the highest good of both. So you're going to call it in before the conversation, and you're also going to pre-plan a little bit, just a little bit, on how do I want to open this? How can I see this from so-and-so's point of view where I can help this to go a little bit more smoothly, right? Instead of just kind of going at it and just allowing the fireworks to explode. So a little pre-planning. You can even call in the higher helpers before you pre-plan how you want to start the conversation, how you want to say it so that it comes off in a loving, highest good way. Okay. Do not underestimate just a little forethought before you jump into it. Now, here are higher helpers that you can call in beforehand, in the planning phase, even afterwards. But I want to start with Archangel Aurora, Aurora, Archangel Aurora. She's solar plexus chakra. She will help you to take power back that maybe you've given away to another, right? If you're so afraid to have a conversation with somebody, odds are you've given some of your power to them. So Archangel Aurora, she can help you stand up for yourself. She can help you create healthy boundaries, especially when you have given your power away to someone else. The solar plexus is all about confidence, stepping into your power, stepping into who you are, owning your power, believing you have the power. So Archangel Aurora, we're going to call in and we are going to ask her to work with us so that we maintain boundaries, we create boundaries that need to be made, we hold on to them during the conversation, we stand up for ourselves in a loving way. Number two, we're going to combine Archangel Faith and Archangel Gabriel, both governing the throat chakra, which is where you're communicating from, right? So you're going to ask Archangel Faith and Archangel Gabriel to balance the throat chakra and help you speak with confidence and with love and bring across the information in that way. So anytime I'm going to have a conversation, anytime that I'm going to do readings, one-on-one client readings, group oracle card readings, individual oracle card readings, readings in the Higher Helpline membership, whatever I'm doing, I ask Archangel Gabriel to help me communicate the messages in a way that will resonate with the person, a way that will be the most healing, the most loving, and in the highest good. So you can ask for that as you're going through the situation, bringing that energy and bringing that help into the conversation. Next, I would call in Archangel Jeremiel. So the way you spell his name is Jeremiel. Jeremiel. What I love about Archangel Jeremiel is he allows you to see things through the perspective of someone else. He allows you to see things through the eyes of another to kind of gain perspective on what you're doing. But here's the key to this. Number one, I want you to ask him to do that for you because you want to be able to see things through the eyes of another person, right? With compassion, with understanding, so that you can better communicate. But you also want to ask him to work with the other person so that they can see your perspective. Because if you have two people who come into a conversation who are willing to see the perspective of the other person in addition to their perspective, huge difference. Huge difference when you're coming together and trying not to combat and trying not to explode, right? So calling in Archangel Jeremiel is big for this. Archangel Raguel, I call on him for so many different things in relationships. If you're in the middle of a fight, he can help you heal arguments between you and another person, but he can also bring more harmony. So you want to call him in beforehand to bring healing to the situation, especially if you're already in an argument with the person and now coming together to have a conversation. You want to ask him to bring in that healing energy to help heal the argument and bring in more harmony before the conversation even starts and to help you maintain that harmony. Okay. So he's amazing for that. That's Raguel. There's also Archangel Zadkiel. And what I like about him is that he can help you find forgiveness. He can help you let go of anger, resentment, anything that is kind of, still holding you back and again, you're calling these angels in to work with both of you. You can call archangels in to not just work with you or higher helpers to not just work with you. You can call in other people's higher helpers. And that's what I want you to do when you're calling this in is you are not doing it just for you. You are doing it, allowing both of us to let go of any resentments, anger, to find forgiveness, to see things from one another's perspective and point of view as well as our own, to speak with love and confidence, right? Both of you, both of you, both of you. Don't forget, you're going to call it in for yourself, but you want to call it in on both sides. And then you also, what do we need when we're in an argument or we're having to have difficult conversations? We want to have more compassion. We want to have more compassion for the other person, and we want the other person to have more compassion for us. Both sides. So Kuan Yin is the best when it comes to asking to bring compassion in from both sides. So that's the other higher helper that I would add in. So with my higher help method, the book itself has, pre-written prayers for you in every category of life, from money to relationships to healing to spirituality to parenting, etc. But it also has lists of higher helpers like I'm giving you here. And why I did that also is because you can customize your own prayers. You can customize your own prayers. Who am I going to call in? I'm going to pick and choose the people that go exactly with what I'm struggling with. Right. So even for forgiveness, you can call in Archangel Zadkiel, but you can also call in Jesus. Whether you believe Jesus based on a religion or you're looking at Jesus as an ascended master, it doesn't matter. Jesus is available to everyone. You can call him in for forgiveness. Who better to call in for forgiveness? Again, on both sides. So you want to call in help for both of you. So I want to give you an example because I said in the book, The Higher Help Method, I have an actual prayer specifically for improving communication. Now, if you are looking to improve communication in general in a relationship, right? Not just I have to have a difficult conversation. This is something that I would say regularly, right? I would say on a regular basis to try and improve overall communication between you and someone else. However, it is also something that you can pray with and tweak right before a conversation or planning the conversation. So it is on page 192 of the book. It's a prayer. It's called Improved Communication. Okay. I just want to tell you how it opens. And this is how I open all my prayers. All my prayers, I open the same way. I call in the energy of the universe. I call in the energy of the collective, meaning all of my angels and guides and loved ones who have passed on, etc. And then I start calling in and I explain what I need help with. And then I start calling in my specific higher helpers, right? This cat has got every time she gets hair on my lipstick. Okay. So it starts with Dear Universe. I call in my angels, guides, loved ones who have passed on, and all those in my soul society, only those of the highest vibration, to be with me now. And then you say, here's what I'm struggling with, right? So this says, as I am looking to improve communication between myself and fill in the blank, to better understand one another through the eyes of love moving forward. Now, again, this is something that you can say every day, but let's say you're going to have an actual conversation. You would say, the way you would tweak it is, I am looking to have a conversation with so-and-so about X, Y, and Z. And I'd like this conversation to go smoothly, to be in the highest good of both of us, to not escalate, and to be received with love on both sides. That's how you would kind of explain it. Then the prayer goes into, now I'm going to call in everybody. I'm going to call in the troops. I'm going to call in the higher helpers that specialize in these areas. Okay. So it goes on with, I ask Archangel Faith to balance both so-and-so, fill in the blank, and my throat chakra, so we can speak our truth in a loving manner and from a place of confidence. Archangel Gabriel, I ask you to guide our conversations or conversation, if you're having one, so that we truly listen to one another with an open heart and provide us with the wisdom and strength to speak honestly, clearly, and lovingly without fear or hesitation. How many of you, if you have to have that conversation, go into fear and you can't, right? You're asking for the help to combat that. And so that's what this whole prayer is really about. And then it goes into calling in Archangel Jeremiah, like I told you about, Ganesha to remove any obstacles. And then it ends with, and you can customize this to plug in any of the other archangels that I told you to call in that are not in this specific prayer. That's what is so great about this book, is it's something that you go back to over and over again to pull the tools that you need, create the exact tool. I go to this book myself to create prayers for something that I'm going through. But it ends with, please guide our words and our hearts. And please send me the signs to point me in the direction of any people or resources that can help improve communication between us. You could say that can help improve and create a positive conversation between us if it's about a specific conversation, and help me recognize and act on them when they arrive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. So now, guess what this means if you're having a conversation? If you have to have a conversation with one person, guess what this means? It's not just you and them in the conversation. It is you, them, and all the higher helpers on your side guiding this conversation, putting the ideas in your head, helping them to receive better if you're worried about them receiving. Okay. So that is the difference between walking through life by yourself and walking through your life with higher helpers. Big difference. And that includes a difficult conversation that you have to have with someone. Again, make sure you look up the imago if you're doing if it's a an intimate relationship, but still do this work beforehand, because now it's not just you. Now you have all of these higher helpers that can throw things in, that can help you handle it, that can keep you calm, that can give you the words, right? And give you the right words and the right ideas, that can help you listen but help the other person. You're not calling it in. There's two people in the conversation. You're calling in help for the two people. This will make a big difference in how you feel and how you approach the other person and how the other person approaches you. If you can approach things thinking about the other person as well as yourself, and they can do the same, big difference in the conversation that you're having. And the best part about higher help is that you don't have to do it alone. You have the resources, the higher resources to bring with you into the conversation, right? Big difference. So I wanted to bring this up because when I see something multiplied in my life, in the lives of others, in a theme that keeps coming up for me, in something that keeps coming up in the membership, oftentimes on the first Monday of every month in the membership, I do a group live, right? Where we do a live group oracle card reading, and then I do some individual readings for people. There's often themes that will come up in that group reading where I'll go, I need to share this with everybody on the weekly spirit boost. It happens all the time, right? So that's really where I pull from. So I did this because I thought, I guarantee you there's people that either A, have to have a difficult conversation that they don't want to have, B, are struggling just in general communicating with someone in their life, right? Just in general, my gosh, every time I talk to this person, it becomes a fight. Or every time I talk to this person, they go into victim mode. They feel like I'm attacking them. That's not what I'm doing. How can I shift this energy? That is where that improving communication prayer can come from. And then the tweaks that you can do to it for something individual, right? Something like I have to now go have this conversation. And this is all, by the way, this is all in the relationship section of the book. The book has different sections in it by life area that we might need help in. This is in the relationship chapter. And I just think there's so many people who struggle on so many ways with how am I going to have this conversation? How am I going to approach this person? I know it's going to be a fight. I know they're going to take it the wrong way. I know it's not going to get anywhere. That's another thing. If you're having conversations, let's say with your child, whether your child is young or in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and they're just not hearing you, bring in the higher helpers. How can I say this differently? How can I change what I'm saying to get through? How can I say what I want and let go of the outcome, right? Oh my gosh. How can I say what I want but let go of the outcome? If you are trying to help someone and they are not taking the help, you can say what you want to say, but then you have to let go of what happens because other people are in charge of their lives, right? So that's a whole other piece of communicating. And I think that's a big thing with especially adult children. I see that a lot as well with like they're not listening to me, etc. So that's another piece of this. And again, you don't have to do anything alone. You don't have to manifest. You don't have to make more money. You don't have to come up with ideas to make more money. You don't have to heal yourself by yourself. You don't have to parent without guidance and extra help. You don't have to work on your spiritual connection, open your intuition, get a new job. I mean, the list goes on and on. We do nothing alone. I promise you. And when you start consciously, purposefully interacting with that energy of the universe and the higher helpers, when you start developing a real strong relationship with it, everything changes, including your communications. So if you like what I'm saying, please hit the like button on the live. I always forget to say that. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, I would appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to just go to some of the comments. And it's already 12:30. Thank you for whoever liked the live. You're the best. Hi, Michelle. Yes, thank you so much. I love my book. I wrote this book really like as something that I thought, God, if I had this years ago, how different life would have been, right? And my gosh, if we can give this to the younger generation now to say, this is how you solve your problems, how different will their life be? Hi, Deb. I don't know what you were saying. Yes, it is. Oh, I don't know what you were saying. Yes, it is for, but thank you. I must have missed when this popped up. I can't. Barb. Hi, Barb. Thanks, Tammy. I am about to have my difficult conversation. Yay! And appreciate your added feedback. Barb is one of my members. Your reading was so helpful. Thank you. I'm glad. And yes, all of this stuff, take it with you. Take the prayer that's in the book with you and let me know how it goes. I always say that, like, we talk about so much stuff in the membership and I'm like, update me because I want to know, like, how does it work? How does it go? I love hearing back from you guys to say, like, I did it. This worked out. There's so many people that are looking for jobs. I want to know if you got it, all of that. So thank you for that. And again, this is for anybody that is struggling in this area of having a conversation, ongoing communication in a relationship, whatever. Totally. Michelle said, totally agree. Giving the information to younger people. Yes. I dedicated this book to my stepson, my niece, and my nephew. My niece and my nephew are in their 20s. My stepson is 13. Okay. And I dedicated it to them because I said to myself, my God, their whole life can be so different than mine was if they start using this information now, if they start utilizing this stuff now. I can't even imagine, how different things. And here's the thing, by the way, I was using the higher help method when I was younger. I just didn't know, and it wasn't the complete method yet. But I grew up asking for higher help. And that's what made me who I am. And that's the seed of this book. Thank you so much, Deb. I love my book. Honestly, we were in the membership thing and they were like, who can I call on? And I was like, hold on. And I whipped my book out in the middle of the membership hot seats. And I was like, okay. And I read from it, call on this person, call on that person, because I don't have them all memorized, right? I have some of them memorized. But I don't have all of them memorized. This, she said. Lynn M says, can this be used to help me start a conversation with my daughter? Yes. She doesn't yet want to talk with me about something and she got mad at me about it. Oh, yes. Listen, I wonder, let me just see if I have, because I have a whole parenting chapter. See, I have to grab my own book. I have a whole parenting chapter in here. So I almost feel, okay, so chapter 10 is fertility, pregnancy, and parenting. There's additional higher helpers specifically just for parents that I would call in. Let me see. I just want to see if I have something specifically about. So there's a parenting guidance prayer. So what I would do, so that's on page 251. There's a parenting guidance prayer. I would combine that with the improving communication. Because I would also be asking for guidance on I would be calling in, and Archangel Gabriel is great for parents as well, especially if you're parenting, which most people are in today's world, sensitive, empathic children. He's very, very good for that, Archangel Gabriel. But I would call in help for how do I best approach this? How can I see this from my daughter's perspective? And how can I, and again, calling in her higher helpers, but you also want to call in your higher helpers and say, and call in some specifics around parenting that can assist you specifically in that area, right? So, hold on a second. So under parental guidance, I have like Mother Mary. I always call in Mother Mary. I always call in Mother Mary. Oh, you just said she's 41. Yeah. Yeah, adult children I feel like are the hardest to get through to cuz younger children kind of like feel like they have to listen to you, right? Because you're like, they're still younger. So they're like, even if they're like half listening, they feel like they have to listen to you. Adult children, it's so much harder, I think. But Mother Mary, I always call in. Saint Gerard in the Catholic faith, and no, you don't have to be Catholic to call on him, is the patron saint of mothers. So you're going to call in those higher helpers in addition to the communication higher helpers to assist you as a parent, as a mother, in how to best handle this, right? And then call in those higher helpers before you have the conversation. And call in her higher helpers before you have any kind of conversation. So yes, 100% can be used for that. This has been, oh, you're welcome, Jennifer. Yeah, like I said, whenever I see, now this is how I always tell you, how does the universe communicate? What is the number one way that you know you're getting a sign and the universe is communicating with you? When things repeat. When topics repeat, when the name of books repeat, when a healing modality repeats, when a class repeats, when a type of meditation repeats, when a type of diet repeats, and you're like, why are all these people why do I keep hearing about this? And that's what happened is I had two people in the same thing talking about having to have difficult conversations. And I thought, oh, repeating, I'm listening. Let me get on, and this is what we'll discuss, right? How can we do this, and how can we call in higher help? Because I call in higher help for everything. And that's why I put the book together based on topic to make it easy and make it so easy for you. You never have to ask again, who do I call on for this? How do I word this? What crystal is the best for this? You never have to ask again because it's all in the book. Now, does the book include every higher helper known to man for every category? No, because I'd be over word count. I was already over word count with this book, but it includes the main people that you can start working with. You're welcome, Lynn. I hope it goes well. Like I said, adult children are, again, I have a niece and nephew in their 20s. You can't tell them nothing. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes my niece hears more than my nephew. Thank you, Barb. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, the work that I put into this, you guys have no idea. This was a lot more of a doozy to write than the universe is talking to you, because the universe is talking to you just kind of flew out of me so easily. This was like categorizing, organizing, like it was more like a strategic. The first part of the book flew out of me because that tells you how to use it. The second half, which is the bulk of the book, is all of the resources. And so it was a beast to research and put it all together. But now it's here and I love it and I use it. I keep it next to me all the time. And if you ever ask me a question on who to call on, I will grab my own book. So tomorrow is Halloween. So happy Halloween to all of you. I still have to post on my stories from Instagram and Facebook some of the stuff, some of the highlights from my Halloween party. And then those of you in my membership community, I'm going to post a whole bunch of things in the Facebook group so you guys can see them, because it was crazy. It was fun. My house turned into a haunted house. When I tell you my husband creates entire scenes, like it's better than a Spirit Halloween store. So, but now we have to take it all down. God help us all. Also, FYI, I will not be live next Thursday. I'm actually traveling. My cousin's daughter, who's I look at as a niece, got her first job as a professional dancer. So we are all going to see her. And by I say we all, like my sister, my cousin, my aunt, we're going to go do that. So I'm looking forward to that, spending some family time. So I will be traveling. I will not be here live next Thursday, but then I will be live the following Thursday. So just telling you in advance, if you're like, where did Tammy go? Because you're on my list and I send you an email every Thursday, or you look for me every Thursday, just go back. If you go to YouTube, you literally can find playlists of all my old ones and just have a ball next Thursday if you're feeling like you need some inspiration from me and I'm not here. Yes, happy Halloween, everybody. Oh my gosh, I love the pumpkin emoji. Happy Halloween, everyone. We don't really do anything on Halloween. We do everything with the big party beforehand, and we actually, where we live, it's like a long driveway, so we get zero trick-or-treaters because nobody comes up that driveway. So I have so much leftover candy, it's obscene from the party. But no trick-or-treaters. We should really just leave a bowl of candy at the mailbox on the bottom and maybe people will take it. But anyway, have an amazing rest of your week into the weekend. Have an amazing week next week, which I will not be here for, but I'm sure I'll be popping in on stories, and posting some things as well. So you can stay tuned for that. And as you go into this week, and because I'm not this weekend, and because I won't be around next week to remind you, you are going to do something that brings you joy. Just you. Just because it brings you joy. Out of the ordinary. Something that you don't normally do that will just boost you, make you feel good, bring you joy, raise your vibration. You deserve it. You should have it. And so do it. No matter how big, no matter how small, do something extraordinary this weekend, whether it's trick or treating, or, hanging out with friends, going to TJ Maxx, love that, Home Goods, or just getting yourself the latte, whatever it might be. Do something this weekend for that, for yourself. I will miss you guys next Thursday, but then I will be back. And the only other Thursday I think I'm going to miss in November is actually Thanksgiving. I won't be live on Thanksgiving. We actually have Thanksgiving at my house, so it'll be a little crazy, and I'm sure you'll all be celebrating with your family as well. So actually I'm missing 2 lives in November. So I'll just try and hang out with you. As long as you guys have questions, I'll hang out with you longer when I am here. So thank you all for being here. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Happy Halloween, and sending you love. Bye, everyone.